Hello, everyone. Hello. This is Vocabulary Live from BBC Learning English. I'm Phil and I'm here in my house in London. And today we're going to be talking about friendship and vocabulary to talk about friendship. And I'm going to start with a little question for you to think about as you're joining. So if you have a look here, I've got a few expressions here, all related to friendship. I want you to think if they're negative or positive. Now, while you're thinking about that, let's just go through a couple of things. And you might have heard this before if you've seen our lessons before. If you haven't, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of them. It's a live lesson. So if you are watching it at the moment, please join in with the comments. Please join in. The more questions you answer, the more you join in, the more you'll get from it. And please say hi. Test your comments by saying hi and saying where you're watching from. And I can see some of you doing it already. So Dominique is saying hello from France. Firdas is saying hello from Thailand. Tien is saying hello. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Zawala is saying hello from Afghanistan. So do please join in, say where you're watching in the comments. And we're going to ask you lots of questions. So do answer those ones. Don't worry if you've missed the live stream, because of course the whole thing will be up on our Facebook and our YouTube pages as soon as we finished. So you can always watch it back again and again and again. And of course you can share it. Okay. But without further ado, let's have a look at these look at these words, these expressions. You can see we've got two columns. One column is negative. That's column 1. It's kind of a pinky color. And column 2 is positive, which is kind of a bluey color. They're just the ones I wait for. There's no meanings there. Where do you think these words go? We've got part ways with, expressions rather than words really, reconnect with, grow apart from, maintain a friendship with, remain tight with, and drift apart from. Where would you put them? Do you think they're positive or negative? Which ones do you think? Do put it in your answers in the comments below. If you have just joined us, this is Vocabulary Live from BBC Learning English. It's one of our live lessons. We have one pretty much every day at this time. So if you enjoyed today, please come back tomorrow for the next one. It's pronunciation tomorrow. Okay, let's have a look. We've got a few more people saying hello. We've got Kittifat from Thailand. Hello. John Paul saying hi from Myanmar. Lost your comment, John Paul. Sorry. There we are. John Paul saying hi from Myanmar. Cesar from Peru is saying hi. Saeed from Afghanistan saying hi. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in. Ooh, let's have a look. I can see some answers actually coming in already. Great. If I can find them here. Kin, apologies if I pronounce your name wrong. Kin is saying that part ways with it would go as a negative expression. And that's right. Part ways with, if you part ways with a friend over time, it kind of means you're not friends with them anymore. So yeah, we definitely use that as negative. It's a way of saying that you're not doing the same thing as someone. Again, so we can use it a lot with relationships. Okay, great. Let's have a look and see what other things we've said. What do we think reconnect with? Obed is saying that reconnect with is probably positive, and Obed is right. If you reconnect with someone, maybe there's someone you haven't seen for a long time, maybe someone you parted ways with a long time ago. If you reconnect with them, that's definitely positive, and you can reconnect with old friends. It's a good expression to use. Let's have a look. Next, we've got this one, grow apart from. Grow apart from. Yevgeny, one of our regulars, Yevgeny is saying that grow apart from is negative. And I would agree with Yevgeny. Grow apart from is negative. And it's something, this is another one that happens over time. Perhaps use it a lot to talk about childhood friends. Sometimes you make friends when you're very young and you have certain things that you're interested in. And as you grow up, as you get older, you're interested in different things. So you grow apart from each other. It's not that something happens one day to end it, but you just grow apart over time. Okay, talk about friendship, because you could use these to talk about romantic relationships as well. That happens as well. Okay, but definitely negative. Okay, to maintain a friendship with someone, what do we think? Have a look in the comments. What do we think? So maintain a friendship with someone. Firdads saying maintain a friendship is positive. And yeah, if you maintain a friendship, you keep it going. Maybe you need to work to maintain a friendship, perhaps, and that helps to keep it going. Excellent. Remain tight with. What do we think? Have we got any answers for remain tight with? I can see lots of answers coming in. So many. It's sometimes hard to see. You got so many. Oh, Margarita has given us lots of answers here. Margarita Nari. But one of them is remain tight with is positive. Yeah, remain tight with is positive. If you're tight friends with someone, it means being a close friend with someone. And maybe you remain tight with someone over decades. You might remain tight with someone. It means you stay a close friend. You have a good relationship with them. Okay. And then finally, drift apart. What do you think for drift apart? It's very similar to one that we've already looked at. I'm just looking down at your comments here. Drift apart. Someone mentioned that one. Ooh, we've got lots and lots and lots and lots. Let's have a look further down. Oh, I've just seen it. Latanya is saying that drift apart is negative. And I know lots of you have answered. There's been lots of comments. But drift apart, yeah, if you drift apart from someone, it kind of means that you grow apart from someone. So here are some words that we can use, and we might mention these as we go through. But there's also some words that I kind of wanted to focus more on, and we're going to look at those next. And they might be a little bit related to these ones. And we've got some sentences where you can put some words in. Don't know how clear you can see that. We've got fizzled out and cemented are two words here. So we've got the first question is, the summer we spent together really something our friendship. What do you think goes in number one? Do you think it's fizzled out or cemented? And number two, over time, the friendship just something. What do you think the answers are? Have a look, put them in the comments. Okay, if you have just joined us, this is Vocabulary Live from BBC Learning English, one of our live lessons that we do across the week. This on Monday, we do Vocabulary Live every 2 weeks. Thank you for joining me, Phil, here. It's great to see you all here. We've got people from all over the world, which is always good to see. And I'm asking a question here about some expressions we use to talk about friendship. And these ones we're going to look at in some depth. I'm going to ask you some questions about. So do please join in the comments. Remember, you can also invite people to join in the lesson. But what do we think here? I can see loads of answers coming in. So for number one, Ural is saying cemented. TR Dolphin is saying cemented. Anne is saying cemented. Got an answer here saying cemented. Juan is saying cemented. Let's have a look. Yeah, the summer we spent together really cemented our friendship. We're going to have a very close look at what it means in a minute. But if you think you know what cementing your friendship means, please put the answer in if you're not sure. If you think you know what cement means, it might give you an idea. But what do you think? Do put it in the comments. We'll share the best ones or share some of them as we go through. So that was number one. That kind of gives us the answer for number two, doesn't it? Let's see what people have said. We can see that Mariam has said fizzled out is number two. Carol saying number two is fizzled out. Mira said that number two is fizzled out. Huda said that fizzled out. Well, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? If we said number one was cemented, number two has to be fizzled out. Over time, the friendship fizzled out. And what do you think fizzled out might mean? What do you think it means? Put it in the comments. We will look in a minute. So if you don't know, don't worry. You will know. Just keep watching. Keep watching for the answers. Another couple of ones to look at here. Another couple of expressions. We've got talked it out and a shoulder to cry on. Where do you think they go? Do you think it's number three? Or do you think it's number four? We something and then made up in the end. Make up, of course, is one of those phrasal verbs that has lots and lots and lots of different meanings. But if you make up with a friend, it means you become friends with them again. Okay, we something and then made up in the end. Okay, so making up in that case is something you might do after an argument. I know that it has lots of meanings, but that's one meaning of make up. A good friend can give you something for number four. A good friend can give you something for number four. What do you think it is? As always, put your answers in the comments. This is BBC Learning English and this is Vocabulary Live. And don't worry if you miss anything as we go through, because the whole lesson will be up on Facebook and on YouTube as soon as we finish. You can watch it again and again and again. Let's have a look. What have we got? Number one, we've got lots of answers. They're moving really quickly. So number three, Anna said, talked it out. We talked it out and then made up at the end. Yes, that is the right answer. And we've got lots of people who said the same thing, like Soraya, Snell, subconscious mind. I've all said that talked it out. Maddie has said talked it out. Excellent. Okay, and then that means a good friend can give you, let's see, Safo saying a shoulder to cry on. Gilbert is saying, Gilbert maybe, a shoulder to cry on. Got a few others here. Yes, Pure is saying a shoulder to cry on. Excellent. Okay, lots of good answers there. Okay, so we've looked at these. We're going to have a little think now what they mean. Okay, and we're going to start by looking at cement, which you might have an idea. You might know it when we talk about building. You might know the word cement, but what does it mean as a verb here when it's talking about friendship? If you think you know, do put some answers in the comments, but let's have a little look. Let's have a little look. So we said that we had this example. The summer we spent together really cemented our friendship. The summer we spent together really cemented our friendship. And when we say cemented with a relationship, we're talking about making a relationship stronger. If you cement a relationship, you make it stronger. If you think about cement in building is the thing that holds all the bricks together. So if you use good cement on your wall, it will stay up for a very, very long time. So if we cement our friendship, it's the same idea. We're doing things that will mean our friendship will stay together for a long time. Okay. Salai said there to establish firmly. Okay. Yeah, that's a really nice way of saying it, Salai. Excellent. Ole is saying bond. We're going to have a little look at that in a minute. Okay. Yeah, so in the examples here, we can say many friendships are cemented at school. Lots of us make friends at school. It's often when we first meet lots of new people, and we cement friendships at school. Another example here, so we can say that once you cement a bond with someone, and we had that just there in the comments, a bond with someone, you cement a bond with someone, your friendship will last for a long time. Okay, excellent. Right, I've been talking a lot about cementing and cementing bonds, but I want to ask you some questions now. So the first one here, what's the right answer here? Is it 1 or 2? Going on holiday together cement our friendship. What do you think the answer is? Do you think it's number 1 or number 2? And just put it in the comments, whichever you think it is. Is it we went on holiday to become better friends, or we became better friends because we went on holiday? What's that sentence saying? Is it number 1 or is it number 2? And if you're just joining us, this is Vocabulary Live for BBC Learning English. My name is Phil, and I'm here in London, and we're talking about vocabulary to talk about friendships. Oh, I just see loads of numbers coming in. And actually, most people like Ju, like Daiko, like Salai, like Parmita, like Margarita, everyone is saying 2 that I can see on here. Alessandra also saying 2. Let's have a look. What is it? Okay, yeah, exactly. We became better friends because we went on holiday. So doing something together, going through an experience, having a shared experience together is often what cements a friendship. I want to ask you a question now. I want to see what you think. And it's not so much about language. What do you think are the best ways to cement a friendship? I mean, we said there that friendships are often cemented at school. Maybe going on holiday with someone can cement a friendship. Maybe other shared experiences. What things do you think are good for cementing a friendship? Please do say in the comments and we'll share some of them. Do you think it's what you go through at work? Is what you go through at school? A time you spend with someone? What do you think really cements a friendship? What do you reckon? That's also saying a party maybe could cement a friendship, perhaps. To have common friend interests, Yevgeny says, can help cement a friendship. Latanya saying sharing experiences can help cement a friendship. There's a lovely expression here from Salai, to build a rapport with someone. It's when you're kind of building a relationship with someone and you can really cement a friendship if you build a good rapport with someone. Jessica saying the best way to cement a friendship is to help your friend. And if you help your friend through a difficult time, then maybe that will really cement a relationship. I can just see here, Huda is saying that being honest is a good way to cement a friendship. So if you're honest with people, that's a good way to do it. Renit here is saying that friendship is cemented by your childhood memories and living through things together as children. Yes. Yeah, that could be a way of doing it. Abdel saying to save your friend's life is a way of cementing a friendship. Loyalty is very important for Lorenza. Loyalty is important. We've just got a question here from Chanjit saying, what's the meaning of cement? Cement, it's like the glue that holds things together. So if you think of a wall made of bricks, the stuff you use to hold them together is cement. And we're using it just as an image here, as a metaphor. If you cement a friendship, it's what sticks it together. It keeps you together with someone. Okay. Mutual understanding is a good way of cementing a friendship. Being open-minded and giving a shoulder to cry on could be a good way. Excellent there from TR Dolphin. Okay, fantastic. Right, I think we need to move on to our next word now. So I'm just going to put this banner away and let's have a look at what we've got next. And we said fizzle out was another expression. Fizzle out. You may have seen it. You might not have seen it. Fizzle out. It's kind of like an onomatopoeia. If you think of a firework that you light it and it doesn't go off, the flame just goes tss and disappears. It fizzles out. Or a fire that's not burning properly, it can fizzle out. It kind of goes tss and it goes off. It's an onomatopoeia. There's lots of onomatopoeias in language. It sounds like what it's describing. But here, we're using it figuratively. And we're saying that if something fizzles out, it gradually weakens over time. So a friendship could fizzle out over time, particularly if people aren't maintaining it. So we could say you have to work to stop friendships from fizzling out. You have to work to stop friendships from fizzling out. Maybe you agree with that. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Tell us in the comments. Okay. But you have to work, perhaps, to stop your friendships from fizzling out. Or someone saying, yeah, nothing happened. You know, we parted ways. We grew apart. Our friendship just fizzled out. Okay. We looked at the beginning of the lesson at those two things. We looked, well, growing apart from and drifting apart from. They're the sort of things that can make a friendship just fizzle out. It's not been stopped by anything dramatic, but it's just become less important over time. So maybe if we hadn't cemented our friendship completely, then it might end up fizzling out. Okay. Okay. Actually, nice one here from Abdel Hakim saying that fizzled out is that something gets weaker step by step. So something step by step is getting weaker can mean that it fizzles out. Okay, let's have a look at the question we've got next. We were friends at school, but it just fizzled out. We were friends at school, but it just fizzled out. What does that mean? Is it number one or is it number two? We gradually stopped being friends or we suddenly stopped being friends? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, see what you think. If you've just joined us, this is BBC Learning English, and this is Vocabulary Live, and we're talking about friendship vocabulary. So come join, be our friends, and join in the comments here. If you've missed any of this lesson, don't worry, because we're going to put it all on our YouTube and Facebook channels. As soon as we finish, you can watch it back again and again and again, as many times as you want. Also, there's still plenty of time remaining, so invite someone to join in. If you know someone who'd love to join this lesson, or share it afterwards. Okay, you can keep joining in. Oh, we've got lots of answers here. Let's see what people are saying. Clara is saying this one is number one. Yula is saying number one. Kim is saying number one. Huyan is saying number one. Neville is saying number one. Mustafija is saying number two. Mohammed saying number one. Marjan saying number one. Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what the answer is. Okay, so the answer here, if we were friends at school, but it just kind of fizzled out, means we gradually stopped being friends. It wasn't one day, I'm not going to see you ever again. Maybe something bad happened. It just kind of fizzled out. Okay, so it's something that happens gradually. And again, let's see what you think about this. I'm going to ask you a question here. Why do you think that friendships fizzle out? Is it that it's hard work to maintain a friendship? Do you think people's lives change a lot, so it's hard to maintain it, to stay tight with someone, as we looked at earlier? What do you think makes a friendship fizzle out? Maybe a slightly depressing thought. Maybe it's the opposite of what we said earlier for cementing a friendship. What do you think? do put in the comments what you think might make it fizzle out. Not understanding each other. Okay, particularly we talked about growing apart. Maybe as people change, as they get older, perhaps they don't understand each other as much, and maybe their friendship fizzles out. Sorry. Any other reasons why you think it might fizzle out? Why might a friendship fizzle out? Because you're being so busy, perhaps Harry says. People are busy and it can be difficult. Okay, it can be difficult for a friendship to stay there. I can see there's a few things here. People talking about maybe dishonesty, and I think someone said being stabbed in the back, being betrayed. I think if you're betrayed, then maybe a friendship doesn't fizzle out. I think that might be something sudden. It depends what it is, but it might, if it's a big betrayal, we probably wouldn't say it fizzled out. You might say you fell out with someone. If you fall out with someone, you have a big argument, you're not friends anymore. That might happen. Probably not dishonesty. Maybe mindsets becoming different, like Leia says. Yes, that could describe fizzling out, I think. Gamaka says when you're separate for a long time, when you're not together for a long time, maybe it's hard to keep a friendship at a long distance. Yeah, maybe people are just worn out, perhaps. Life has left you worn out, so maybe your friendships can fizzle out. A couple of related ones here. Anne saying that lifestyle can get more and more different. And Amangaldi says that you can have a changing point of view. Your principles might change. And again, you may grow apart. You may drift apart. Your friendship may fizzle out. Yeah, this one here, Margarita. If you don't share interests anymore, then a friendship is bound to fizzle out if you don't share interests. Emblem saying a lack of communication. Okay, maybe you're getting very busy. You don't call each other on the phone or send messages, or there's a lack of communication. It can fizzle out. Stanley saying that it can get difficult to meet up with one another after college. For example, you might be really good friends with someone in college, and then once you're working, it's different. Your life is very different. As Hala says here, life keeps people very busy. It certainly does, doesn't it? It certainly does. And that means, as Deiko says, they can't give time to each other. Great. Some brilliant comments here. Okay, I think I am going to move on to the next word here, but it's brilliant what you said here. Sorry, I can't share all the comments. I really wish I could, because there's some great ones. But do, if you get the chance, have a look at the comments, see what other people have said. Have a look in there. Okay, right. Probably the last word we're going to look at today. We're going to have a look at talking it out. So an expression, to talk something out. We had this sentence. We talked it out and then made up in the end. And in this case, so it's a phrasal verb, make up is to become friends again. Okay, obviously it's got lots of different meanings. I'm sure you know lots of the other meanings that we can use it for, but in this case, it means to become friends again, basically, if you make up with your friends. Okay, and to talk something out, what does that mean? Well, it means to discuss a problem in order to solve it. And when we say discuss it, we're probably talking about something that's quite difficult. Okay, probably not just, yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, that's okay, fine. That's probably not talking it out. That's just admitting you're wrong. Talking it out is trying to work out why things are difficult, why things are different, what problems are, where those problems come from. And you talk about it for a while. And at the end, you're like, okay, yeah, let's do this differently. Let's do this like this. You were right. I was wrong. Maybe it should be like this. That's talking it out. It's discussing a problem and you're solving it at the end. You say you talk it out. And when you talk it out, it means you come to a solution. So it's perhaps slightly different to talking it over. If you talk it out, you're trying to come to a solution. Okay, let's look at some examples. So for example, here, good friends can talk problems out, no matter how hard they are. So it doesn't matter if it's very difficult. Good friends can talk a problem out. They can talk about it and they can find a solution, even if it's difficult, even if you have to be very honest with someone. But you can talk a problem out. Doesn't matter how hard it is. Another one here. We need to talk this out or it'll become a problem. We need to talk this out or it's going to become a problem. You might need to be honest with someone. There's a situation. Some of the things that people have mentioned earlier, perhaps, about, I don't know, disloyalty or lack of communication or any of these things, you need to talk it out, maybe. Okay. Let's have a look at a question again. We're just seeing a few people saying hi. I'm just going to say hi to Sindhu in Bangladesh and Lila in Bolivia. Thank you for joining us. Irem is asking, will you save the video? The video will be on YouTube and Facebook as soon as we finish, and it'll be the whole video will be there. Okay. Thank you for joining in. Okay, let's have a look at the next question. I was angry about what he did. I was really angry about what he did. So we talked it out. What does that mean? Does it mean we argued with each other and fell out? Fall out is when you stop being friends with someone, when you don't like them anymore, you don't want to see them, maybe because someone said earlier they were stabbed in the back. You might fall out with someone. So talked it out. Does it mean we argued with each other and fell out? Or does it mean number two, we said what we felt and agreed to do things differently? Which of these is probably the closest meaning to talk it out? What do you think? Is it number one or is it number two? If you've just joined us, this is Vocabulary Live from BBC Learning English, and I'm Phil, and we're talking about vocabulary to talk about friendships. Okay, and this is a question. What do you think? I can see lots of answers coming in here, so let's go through. Badhasa is saying it's number two. Mins, number two. Sofa is saying number two. Didan saying number two. Saeed is saying number two. Nugroho saying number two. Well, everyone's saying number two. And the reason you're all saying number two is because, yeah, it's the right answer. If you're angry, friends can have disagreements. And sometimes you just need to sit down, say how that makes you feel, how what someone else has done makes you feel. And maybe at the end of it, you say, actually, yeah, you're right. I need to tell you about these things, or I need to do this differently. And that's talking it out. So let's see what you think about talking it out. I want to see what you've got to say about it. How can you make sure that talking something out will work? Because I guess you don't just want an argument where you're kind of shouting at each other and getting angry, although that can be involved. But if you're talking something out, what things should you do to make sure that it works? What are important things to do when you talk something out with someone? What do you think? Are there important things you need to remember? Do you need to be able to think about what the other person's thinking? Do you need to think about how you're communicating? What do you think? Do you have any tips? What do you reckon? Alex has said to make a compromise is important. I think that's probably very important for friendship. You have to be able to compromise. Maybe hugs at the end, says Everyday English. Yeah, if you talk it out successfully, maybe you can hug at the end. Hamid is using one of the words we had earlier. Talk about the fizzling out. If a friendship's fizzled out a bit, maybe talk about that. Say, look, this isn't like it used to be. Zaro is saying by figuring the core problem out. And I think by the core problem, you mean the most important problem. That's the core problem. What's underneath everything? What's in the middle? Yes. Back at Baker Street, I think Sherlock Holmes has joined us. Baker Street is to be honest with your feelings. Yes, be honest about your feelings. That sounds a very good example. Fatih is saying that empathy is an important part. Empathy. If you're talking something out with someone, being able to show empathy, which is where you show that you understand what someone else is feeling, is important. Yeah, Amal, talk to each other to help to understand each other's mistakes. Yeah, I guess we all make mistakes, and it's understanding that can help. Okay, brilliant question here from Badasso. What's different between talk out and talk about it? If you're talking something out, you are talking about it, but you're talking about it to try and find a solution. And we use it particularly with difficult problems that you can't solve until you talk them out, until you talk about them. So talking about is very general, and talking about a problem is important. But if you're saying talk it out, we mean a little bit more than that. It's not just the subject we're talking about. It means here is a problem. It's quite a difficult problem, and we need to sit down and be honest and get to the end of it. And then you talk it out. But it's a really good question from Badasso there. Thank you for that one. Heba saying it's important to be frank and honest with someone. Yeah. Latanya there saying important to admit our mistakes. Definitely. Abdul Hakim saying we need to embrace the problem. Okay, embrace the problem. Okay, excellent. What else have we got? Oh yes, on a previous disagreement, maybe it's good to finally agree. So if you've disagreed about something before, and then you come to an agreement. That's a good one. Clara saying, great expression here, to find win-win solutions. And a win-win solution is when both sides win. Okay, it's not that you've got a winner and a loser. You find something that works for both people. And that's really important. More comments coming in. Fantastic comments you've got here. Yeah, Orlando Guerrero saying we need to accept our differences. Yeah, there can be differences. We need to accept them. Aki saying forgiveness can be important um, when you're talking something out. It's important to have forgiveness. Yes. Another great word here from Gomeka, reconciliation. Yeah, reconciliation or reconciliation. Both pronunciations are okay. Yeah. You've got a misunderstanding that needs to be solved, according to Hugh Young there. Okay. Yes, we need to talk about. So Kim is saying we need to talk about it when we're having an argument and try and find a way to reconcile with each other. Yes, definitely. Okay. Thank you so much for all your comments. Do keep your comments coming in. You can join in the comments and talk to each other. Thank you so much for your time. We've just about run out of time for today. So I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.